See Peter's going live. Going live. Hey, I'm in my shop and thought it would be interesting to go live. I've never gone live before on YouTube, but doing with Amy, Joe, and Delane on Saturday night at 5 o'clock Pacific. Actually, they're filming from. Let's get this straight. They're filming from Mountain Time, so they are going to be 6 o'clock Mountain Time, 5 o'clock Pacific Time, Saturday night. This upcoming Saturday, I believe that's the 23rd. I don't know. Anyway, welcome to my shop. Hey, Wowie had a little challenge going to make a watcher, and a watcher is a nifty little dude that'll sit up on your wall and watch over everything and make sure that your life is good to go. Now, I've never made a watcher. Was a little confused as to what it was, but I've got these fabulous pieces of Manzanita that I harvested, and I've got bunches of them. So I'm gonna, this guy's got a face on him. That's natural. So I'm gonna play around with that and see what I can come up with. This is kind of a practice run for what I'm going to be doing on Saturday. I'm gonna, I don't know, Delane might have something else in mind, but everybody's getting together. I think there's going to be anywhere from 6 to 10 of us doing a live carve, and Delane's going to bebop from one to another, to another, to another, kind of showcase everybody, is my understanding. Now, I don't personally know Delane. I've just discovered his site, but I'm kind of close with Amy Joe, and if you do any carving in the community, you're going to know Amy Joe. So, Amy Joe and Delane, they've actually done some competitions, some Let's Get Ready to Rumble, which I thought was absolutely fabulous. You get one person against another person, and it's my understanding that you got a moderator and a DJ off in one corner, and then you got a split screen showing the two people carving against one another. And it's my understanding that the audience, the people that come into the comments, vote at the end to determine who won, and then the winner gets the other person's carving sent to them. I think that's awesome. In fact, we've got kind of a challenge going. Amy Joe and I, probably going to happen sometime in September. But I'm quite good with walking sticks. In fact, I've sold about 200 of them. And Amy Joe is a fabulous artist. She can do just about anything. And we're talking about doing a Let's Get Ready to Rumble competition for walking sticks. I think when that does happen, I'm not sure I'm going to carve, but I'm going to break out my pens and I'm going to do what I do with cartoon characters up and down the walking stick, because that sells. And right now I'm currently working on a tribute to Don Martin. Remember Don Martin from Mad Magazine? He made all those goofy looking characters. That's kind of my style anyway. So I'm replicating his key characters and putting them on a walking stick. Check out my YouTube channel, and you'll be able to see a little bit about that going on. My YouTube channel is RYMERPTROBERTPETERS 9624. And if you're seeing this video, you've already found me. But over the last, good gracious, 3 years, 5 years, maybe even longer than that, I've been doing YouTube. I have, I think, I want to say 600 videos. Good God. I carve, but prior to me getting into the carving world, I was making a series called Buckeye Wars. If you dig deep into my videos, you'll find those. I grew up in El Dorado Hills, California, and a very wonderful place to become a kid or to explore the world. And I got to thinking, one of these days I'm going to have grandkids, and they're going to say, "Grandpa, what was it like when you were a kid?" And by that time, my 12-year-old mind was able to turn to mush. I do like tapioca, cream of wheat, and stuff like cream of mushroom soup. So my brain's going to turn to that someday. But these little videos that I make tell about what it was like for my friends and I to grow up in El Dorado Hills, California in the 70s and the 80s. We had some adventures. We were living in the foothills, very close to Folsom Lake. So oftentimes we would get on our bicycles, and we would ride on down to Brown's Ravine, which was, I don't know, 3 miles, maybe even 5 miles away. You get down in there, and there was water, and there were trees, and there were fish, and there were frogs, and there were goodies, and just fun to play. So you got that. And then a couple of friends of mine and I, since we lived in El Dorado Hills, we got the foothills right in our backyard. Adventures of, we had forts. There's a rock formation up on top of the hill in El Dorado Hills, and we would hike up to that, and we took that rock formation and we added some boards here or there so that we could stand on the board as a little bit of support. The rock formation stood up like a castle, and we could see 360 degrees and see into the Sacramento Valley and overlook the Folsom Lake. And you know, there was a small, I'll put this down, there was a small oak tree, probably about that big around, that was the only thing obstructing our view 360 degrees. Now, we're kids. We were probably 8, 9, 10, somewhere in there. We weren't too old. But we had Dad's, we had Dad's little bitty cross saw. We had a hatchet. We had, rinky-dink tools. We took down that oak tree. It took us about a week, but we were chipping away at it. It was in our damn way. And I think it's probably still there in a down position. But that gave us a view like we were king of our castle. We also had another, during the, I guess the spring, maybe it was the fall. No, not the fall. It was spring because everything was kind of green. The grass was green. Usually it's kind of a yellowy grass, dried up grasses, and you had to watch out because there were snakes around. But in the spring, the all the trees are leaved, and there were buckeye trees. These buckeye trees had big old leaves on them, and they also had what's called a buckball. Kind of comes down off of the tree into like a sack, almost looks testicular, and inside there is a buckeye, kind of about the size of a large crab apple, and if you they were usually at the base of the trees because they had fallen off, and you could pick them up, and we'd take our shirt and do like this and fill it with buckeyes, and we would throw them at one another. And therefore, my series about my growing up in El Dorado Hills, I entitled Buckeye Wars. And it tells of us hiking up in the hills or going down to the lake or just having fun. Now, I had a friend who had access to chemicals. And when we were in 7th grade, one of the teachers in our chemistry class showed us how to make hydrogen, because he thought it was funny because you could do it in a little test tube. You light a match and it goes whoop, and he thought that was a really good experiment to show the children. Now, my friend was smart, really smart, still is really smart. He's in the back of the class taking notes like crazy. We go home, and the next couple of days we exaggerated the recipe. We had what do they call that? You know, those metal buckets that have handles on the side and the things about this big around. I don't know about that deep. My friend had figured out that the formula is going to get hot. So he filled that with ice water, and I was his assistant. And I had these big black gloves, and we had not milk bottles, but Coke bottles, because there were, regular Coca-Cola bottles back in those days, and you drink Coke out of bottles. It wasn't so much cans, it was bottles. And we did the formula and put it down into that Coke bottle, and we had balloons at the ready, or I had balloons at the ready. He was supervising because he was smarter than me, and I followed him around. He was a friend of mine. I followed him around kind of like a puppy. He was fun to be around because he knew everything. We had all kinds of fun. But we get that formula going, and it started to get hot. So I got these big ass black gloves on, and I dip it down into the ice water so that it doesn't explode or get too crazy. Put a balloon on top of that, and I'll be damned, it filled that balloon with hydrogen. Yeah, buddy. We made several of those, tied them off, and we finished our experiment. Or not really an experiment. We finished our science project. Put all the goodies aside, but now we had, I don't know, probably 5 to 10 hydrogen balloons. We tied a string onto one of them, lit the string, and let it go. Now, of course, the string wasn't very effective. The balloon floated away, and we're like, damn it. And my buddy figured out we could do it like a Scott towel. You know, those, just a regular paper towel. We taped that to the side of the balloon, and we used that as a wick. Now at dusk, we lit those Scott towels, and you see this flame, just a little flame floating up. Next thing you know, bam! I swear to God, the neighbors thought we were terrorists. Craziest thing I've ever seen. That was just part of the things that my friends and I did. We didn't really do anything illegal, but we were sure mischievous. And dig deep into my videos, and you'll see I think I've got about 200 of those videos, Buckeye Wars. Each one of them is maybe 3 minutes, little blurbs of me telling what it was like growing up in El Dorado Hills, California, which is right outside of Sacramento as you go up into the foothills and you head toward Placerville, or also known as Hangtown, back in the 1800s when the gold miners were coming through. Anyway, I'm going to put my mask on, and I'm going to play with this. See how that's got a heart right there? I'm going to make that kind of like the mouth. And I'm going to dig deep up in here, give him a big old nose. Try to turn this into a watcher. Because my buddy, who's very prominent on Facebook, Wowie, check out Wowie's workshop on YouTube on Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Pacific time. Our carving community goes up in there and does a lot of chatting, while Wowie is Wowie. Guy's nuts, but he's damn good with his artistic skills, and he makes little things, shows us tricks on how to carve and make things as gorgeous as he does, and he sells them. He does quite well with his art. Now, him and his brother Darren, together they are two brothers, one vision, and that is their logo. And there's also a website, a YouTube website, Two Brothers, One Vision. They've got a symbol. Basically, they're like lighthouses. They want to be the light. They want to do it to it. They've even got these little round, about like that big, kind of like a keychain. And on one side it's their logo, and on the other side it says, to it. You ever tell somebody, I'll do it when I get around to it? Well, now you got around to it. So do it to it. And watch Wowie's workshop on Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Pacific time. Okay, enough talking. I'm going to play with this and do some digging in here and make some noise and carve away. It's important to have your PPE. As you see, I've got my mask already pretty much on. I'm going to put that on. Got my glasses. And I've got a glove. I should probably get a new glove. This one's all beat up. But I'm going to be using a Dremel 4000 hooked up to a Dremel flex shaft. And on here I have I don't think it's an extreme. I think it's a medium grit Kutzel sphere. Kutzel, by the way, if you want to sponsor me, I love your product and I'll talk you up. In fact, my favorite bit is a Kutzel Extreme Flame Burr with an 1/8" shaft that fits my Dremel flex shaft, which goes up there, hanging from the ceiling, my Dremel 4000. I also have a Dremel 4300, and I also have a cordless Dremel. I don't use the cordless so much because it doesn't last with the charge long enough to satisfy my needs, because when I carve, I can carve for hours. Okay, well, thank you for joining my live. If you're in here, hello. Please subscribe. I'm going to try to do lives now and again because it's just the thing to do to get your the word out there. I'm also known as Peter's Piper. I make 420 pipes out of wood. Look at my channel. There's some cool stuff going on. Anyway, talking enough. I'm going to do this and let's carve. I think I'm going to switch to my favorite, the Kutzel Extreme Flame Burr, because I need to dig a little and this isn't digging quite like I wanted to. Oh, there it is. This one's not nearly as extreme as this one. Look at the teeth on that bitch. That is gonna do some digging. You see that? That's a Kutzel Extreme Flame Burr. I'm going to put that on the end of my Dremel flex shaft. Tighten it with my handy dandy pliers. Yeah, buddy. Put my glove back on. mask back on, and presto changeo, we're going to be carving again. Now, this is the first live I've ever done, so I don't know exactly what I'm doing. But it looks to me like we've got a couple people in here watching me. I don't know when you popped up because I was carving. Wowie from Wowie's Workshop on YouTube put out a challenge to make a watcher, like something you can hang on the wall. A little guy, and this is going to be his nose. And you can't really see their eyes, but they're constantly watching over you and keeping you safe. And I picked this piece of wood, number one, because it's Manzanita. It's gorgeous. And this one's got a heart on the bottom, a natural heart. I thought that was awesome. And yeah. So thank you for coming to my live. I'm kind of doing this as practice because I'm going to be part of a kind of a carving community live performance, if you will, on Saturday night, 5 o'clock Pacific time. It's my understanding, I'm not exactly sure, but it's my understanding there's going to be about 6 people from 6 different locations. And the moderator, Delan, Delan, is going to moderate, and then Amy Jo is, I think, part of the moderation crew. But I guess about as much as I know about it is there's going to be several people carving at the same time from different locations, and we're all going to be live. And the moderator is going to bounce back and forth to highlight, showcase us carvers. And I don't know if we were going to be given a specific task or that we just grab something and carve and, you know, whatever. But I had never gone live before on YouTube, so this is my very first. And like I said, it looks like there's 2 people in here, according to at the top of my screen. I've had 2 likes, and it looks like 2 people. There's a little people symbol. Anyway, hello. I'm Robert C. Peters, also known as Peters Piper. I make 420 pipes. Dig deep into my YouTube channel, and you'll be able to see that. So that's what I'm doing. I can't see if you guys are chatting or not. I haven't hit the right button to make that happen, but if you are chatting, you know, enjoy. I'm going to stay live for a little bit longer because this is fun. I love to carve. What I'm doing is getting up under here a little bit to create a shadow on all the way around it. I'm going to try to get it so it's like that far in, all the way around, and I'm gonna kind of round it. I mean, it's not round, it's oblong, but round it as I go, and then I'll switch burrs and pretty it up a little bit and make this into a nose for my watcher. You're welcome to stay, you're welcome to go. I'm not gonna be upset if you leave. But if you like what I'm doing, you know, share this with a couple friends. Maybe we can get a few more people in the room here. But yeah, kind of doing it for me. If you want to grab some soda pop, some popcorn, maybe some chips and salsa, kick back, check me out, man. I'm gonna continue. All right, boys and girls, I gotta put my glasses back on, my mask back on, and get her done. See how I'm digging under there? It's going to make a difference in the presentation because it gives it a shadow and it makes that sunken in. I'm going to go to my Dremel 4300, which has some sandpaper on the end of it. Peter Blair makes or gives you the idea of taking a mandrel like that and putting sandpaper on it. And it's not regular sandpaper, it's emery cloth. And this one I have on here, I think is, I don't know, maybe 80 grit. I'm not sure, I don't remember what I put on here. 80, I think. It should say somewhere. Yeah, I think it's 80 grit. Anyway, what you want to do is take a mandrel, and Peter Blair has those for sale, the big ones. And you put like 3 facing down and about 3 facing up. And when you run this, you want to run it slow, no faster than say 15 on your Dremel. Because if you go faster and you press down in your sand, you give too much stress on the machine itself, the Dremel, and believe me, they'll smoke, they'll melt, and that's not a good thing. However, Dremel, the company, is wonderful for replacing stuff. I've had I think 3 that I've sent back to them, and they send me a brand new one, and they send you a little packing slip or packing order that you can tape onto your box to send it back. It doesn't cost you a thing. And they're very, very, very good about it. Their customer service is bar none. Anyway, let's do some sanding. It's going to take a decent amount of sanding, but hope that doesn't fall. Hello. Oh my. I think I'm going to change to that round sphere, Kutzel sphere. It's going to help me more because I see these see those dots, not dots, but anyway, I want to eliminate that because that's when my Dremel kind of burnt, and I want that gone. So that's what I'm trying to achieve. And I'm going to switch burrs. Yep. Oh, look at that. I got 3 likes. Thank you. Look, it still looks like I've got 2 people in the room. Somebody came by and said, hello, left me a like. Thank you. Okay. Now, if you're a carver, like I am, carve wood, be it with a knife, be it with a Dremel, be it with a chainsaw, heck, be it with your teeth, get in there and gnaw on it. You want to join us on Facebook, Kindred Spirits. And wonderful, absolutely wonderful community. Supports one another. And boy, there's some really good carvers on there that make art and sell it. Check out Amy Jo. My God. Her skills are just bar none. Jordy Johnson, kind of our guru, who kind of started all of this for most of us who are looking for a hobby. You go to Carving Fusion, Jordy carves everything. He does Dremel work, he does chainsaw work, and he sells his pieces. His pieces are wonderful. The videos that he has that I like the best is when he goes looking for driftwood. He lives in kind of near Vancouver, and he does some beach combing and grabbing some wood. He knows his wood, and he'll point out, oh, that one over there is cedar, and that one over there is old growth cedar, and there's some cottonwood bark, and so that's fun to watch because the setting is awesome. I mean, beautiful, beautiful Canada, just gorgeous. And he picks up driftwood and takes it back and turns it into magic. I've got the ball back on. I'm going to play with this camera, hopefully get it in the right place. I have no idea what I'm doing. And I'm going to try to eliminate those black spots in my trench that I have carved, which is making room for the nose for my watcher. That's right. Yep. Do this. Well, dang. We've gone an hour. You know, I'm going to call it stop the live. I'm not even sure how to stop it.
Hit that button.
Up. Copy link. Quick share. Create post. Good gracious. How do I get out of this? I don't know. Okay, guys.
Thank you for watching.
And Saturday night, I'm going to go live with Delane. Damn, what's the name of his site? Wood Delane's Homemade Woodworking, I think. Dang, I'm sorry, I don't remember. But we're gonna go live. It's gonna be fun. Take care, boys and girls. Bye-bye.